All right, let's talk about something that sits at the very heart of taking a brilliant idea and turning it into a real, successful project. How do we make sure our best concepts actually deliver on their promise instead of just fizzling out? Well, that's what we're going to get into.
I mean, think about it. You've probably seen this happen. A project kicks off, there's a ton of excitement, a great vision, but then somewhere down the line, it just misses the mark. Or maybe it fails completely. It happens all the time, right? So why? Well, more often than not, the breakdown happens in this gap. It's like a communication black hole between the big picture idea and the day-to-day reality of building it. This is where needs get misunderstood, requirements get messy, and the actual value you were trying to create just kind of disappears. And that's exactly where the business analyst, or BA, steps in. A great way to think of them is as a value navigator. They're the ones who build a bridge across that gap, making sure the whole journey from idea to a finished product stays on course to deliver what it was supposed to. Okay, so let's really dive into how they do that. First things first, to really get what a BA does, you gotta speak their language. And it all starts with two core ideas that sound similar but are totally different: requirements and designs. So, let's start with a requirement. The official guidebook for BAs, the BABOK guide, puts it perfectly. It's a representation of a need. It is all about the what and the why. What's the problem we're trying to solve here? Why is solving it even important? It's the whole reason for doing the project in the first place. And then you've got a design. Now, a design is a representation of a solution. This is where we completely shift gears from the what to the how. How are we actually going to build this thing? What's it going to look like? How will it work to meet that need we just talked about? And this separation, this is everything. You've got the problem on one side and the solution on the other. A really great BA lives in this space, making absolutely sure the team doesn't just jump into building something before everyone has a crystal clear understanding of the actual need. Now, a business analyst definitely doesn't work alone, not even close. They're basically the central hub for communication, connecting all the key people who have a stake in how the project turns out. So who are we talking about? So on any project, you've got a ton of stakeholders, but these roles are absolutely critical. You've got the sponsor, who's all about the why. Then there's the end user, that's the who, the person who's actually going to use this thing. And of course, the implementation expert who figures out the how. The BA, they're the bridge, translating between all of them, so everyone's on the same page, heading in the same direction. So how do they keep everyone aligned? Well, BAs have this huge toolkit of different techniques they can pull from. They're pros at picking just the right tool for the job to uncover what's really needed and define a solution. Let's look at just a few quick examples. Brainstorming. It's a classic for a reason, but there's a real art to it. It's a structured way to get a ton of creative ideas on the table. The magic is in the process. You prepare, you let the ideas flow with zero criticism, and then you go back and evaluate everything to find the real gems. Next up, something called a SWOT analysis. This simple little box is so powerful for seeing the bigger picture. It forces you to look at your internal strengths and weaknesses, but also to look outside at the external opportunities and threats. It's how you can spot a huge opportunity or a major problem coming your way before it's too late. And finally, to make sure everyone knows exactly who's doing what, a BA might whip out a roles and permissions matrix. You might have heard of a RACI chart. It maps out who is responsible for doing the work, who is accountable for the final result, who you need to consult, and who just needs to be kept informed. I'm telling you, this little grid can prevent so much confusion and so many dropped balls. It's a game changer. But here's the thing. All these tools and techniques are great, but they're not the most important part of being a BA. The real secret sauce isn't in the templates. It's in the mindset. It's all about how a great analyst thinks about a problem. And that brings us to something really crucial. We're talking about skills like creative thinking, to question the way things have always been done; systems thinking, to see how all the pieces of a company, people, processes, technology, all fit together; and adaptability, because let's face it, things are always changing. These are the skills that let a BA turn a mountain of information into real, actionable insight. You know, this quote from the BABOK guide really nails it. At the end of the day, business analysis is all about enabling change for the better. It's about digging deep to understand what people really need and then recommending solutions that don't just get checked off a list, but that actually deliver real, meaningful value. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Every project you work on has a destination, a value it's supposed to deliver. The real question is, who's navigating that journey for you? Thanks for tuning in.